What I love to see working with Living Hungry is people activating when they find out about these homeless kids and homeless people. Like, people raise their hand and say, I have trucks, I have food, I can donate free driver's licenses and free Florida state IDs. That was Ann Gannon tax collector's office. You know, people don't know about the homeless kids. They don't know that these teenagers are going homeless. And when they find out, it moves them, just like it moved me, you know, and it changes us, and we become better for it by helping, by adding what we have into what their needs are. From the moment I met those first homeless kids playing on the floor, and I was bitten, and, you know, I carry them in my heart, which is a calling, you know, it's a mission from my life. And it started then, but it has come full circle now to where I'm with the Lewis Center Luncheon and all of these amazing people that contribute in the same ways, called the same way I'm called, you know, on the same mission I'm on. It's an uphill battle, you know. It takes a lot of work to help the homeless and stand in there and do the work of helping them get back on their feet. But you know, everyone in this room knows that it's much more than just a cause or an issue, that it's a calling. And I'm honored to be chosen by my peers who share the same calling I do, to help these important people in our lives, in our community.
I want to make sure that these people are given a chance to get back into a home, because you cannot survive on the street. I see those people as well, people who cannot make it, who just don't make it, and you see how they gradually are getting worse and worse shape health-wise, and it is not a life. You are afraid all the time of being robbed and then being beaten up, and nobody likes you, and like I said, you are exposed to the weather, and so if you are getting older, you start feeling those things, and these people need help. So this one morning the other day, a young man comes in of the youth program, and he says he needs interview clothes, and we spend about time. I have the volunteers. I assigned 2 volunteers to him to help him find the right clothes, and after we had them all dressed up, really sharp looking. He took off, and on that same day, before I went home, he came back to the donation center and said, Mr. Ube, I want to thank you for helping me to dress up so nice today, because I think it was a major part of why I got the job today. And so that makes you smile, you know. It makes you feel good, but you did the right thing. And obviously it wasn't just the dress, how we dressed him up. He has certainly a substantial part on this whole getting the job, but we had our portion on it too, and that makes you smile.
There is no reason why one of the richest countries in the world that we have individuals that are living on the streets. And we have a myriad of challenges and the reasons why, and addictions, and certainly mental health is one of the two of the biggest problems. But there's no reason why we can't address it. We just have to do so collectively and really make it a priority on the national, state, and local levels, and it hasn't been. I think there are certain cities that are really focused in on trying to solve the issues of homelessness, but it really needs to be a national priority, and certainly this county and the city of West Palm Beach have made it priorities. I think success is you have to measure it in small bite-sized pieces. You know, the old saying is, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? And this is certainly, it's a large, complicated problem, and so you take the little successes and you run with those and make those what kind of inspires you to keep going, because it is a very difficult issue to tackle. And so you just take it day by day and try to find those little victories and let those little victories inspire you to larger victories. So I think, you know, my dad instilled that into me, is that if the more you give, the more you will receive in return. And so I've just always been in my DNA to help individuals and try to figure out ways to kind of better society in whatever small ways that I can. And it's been rewarding in a lot of different ways, and professionally, personally, and I'm lucky I have a family that supports my initiatives and my efforts, because it does take a lot of time away from family sometimes, but they're there, and it's been great.
I'm very proud of our mobile clinic. I'm very proud of our partnerships with community partners who take care of the homeless in our community for a long time. They were generous in teaching us about homeless services and adopting us in their family. And I think that there is a family in this county who provide care for homeless and people, and we are very proud of being privileged to join that family. This award goes directly to our dream team we have on the mobile clinic. We have registered nurse. Everybody knows Tom, the nurse. We have Bob, the driver. Garlene is our nurse practitioner, and Alicia is our licensed social worker. I think at the present time, community partners know them by names, and they know those four are very compassionate and mission-driven healthcare workers who do not leave patients behind.
Our mission is to fill the gaps in the community in terms of healthcare, and we recognize that the homeless population was a population that had been missed and overlooked from a healthcare perspective. There's a lot of accessing the emergency rooms because conditions have become acute. And so our goal is to get upstream and really help focus on those individuals and prevent some of the acute illness and some of those emergency room visits. Huge honor. Certainly it's our first year, and we still think that there's a lot of opportunity that we can continue to get better and better and really refine what we're doing and continue to expand our reach. And it's just such an honor that even at this early stage that we're being recognized. It really helps validate that this is the right thing to do.
Housing is a passion of mine, and it is an issue in which we must address early on. So if we don't create and have the variety of housing types for mixed income in our community, we're going to continue to grow our homeless population. We're a warm environment, and so it is less difficult for people to be here and homeless and living on the streets and in our parks and in front of our building establishments and actually driving business away. It is critical that we address the issue because what we're seeing now is more and more of our elderly community being impacted by housing. It says a lot about a society that does not take care of their elderly and their children. I smile, especially when we celebrated the Lewis Center, because I remember we had a Commissioner Coons, former Commissioner Coons, that started with the Homeless Resource Center and pushed this issue. To see it be fruitful and to hear the stories that come from the participants that went through the Lewis Center, where they came in and they had nothing, and now they're prospering, they're working, they have a home. It is just rewarding. It really is, and that makes me smile.
No one should be homeless. I mean, I think that is a very big priority, and I think the solution, and it's what the Homeless Coalition has really been working heavily for, is to get people in some type of housing. And I think once you get people into housing, then their life moves forward. But when they get into a desperate situation, especially for the people who are living on the street. I mean, we have a lot of people who are in shelters and so forth, but we have a lot of people who, that you can say, well, they have a place to live, but maybe it's just for that night. I mean, so I think it's something that is, to me, it's a very top priority. There's no question about it, mainly because they're people. I mean, and we have to take care of, each other. Success, to me, looks like getting everyone into a home or some type of permanent housing. And again, we have a lot here, but we could go on. I mean, we could have tenfold what we have. I mean, because it never ends. But to me, that's the main thing, is to get people into housing, because then they seem to be okay. They seem to be able to move forward. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it very much. You think that people don't really pay much attention to what you do. And it's very nice that somebody says, well, thank you. That's the way I look at it, is a thank you. I have been to the Lewis Luncheon every year. I was chairman of it one time. My daughter was chairman. I was co-chairman another time. I've always been involved with it, but never really particularly thought of myself. I always thought more the people like the nuns from St. Anne's Place and people like that who really, really, really put their entire life into helping. And I never really expected to get something like this, but I appreciate it.